everybody, DeathsStalker here. So I thought I'd take you down another highway. And this is Highway 5. It's a road I drive down all kinds of times. And this runs from Highway 24 between Brantford and Cambridge all the way into Toronto. And I can go past Toronto, but I'm not going anywhere near Toronto. Traffic's too crazy. I thought I'd show you the area of Highway 5 that's sort of my neck of the woods. It's actually a nice day if it's not a little windy. And again, this is all farm country. There will be some built up areas, but essentially this is totally rural Ontario. Now this is just the outskirts of St. George, Ontario, which is used to be the hub for the local farmers in this area here, Brant County. And we knew it because it was an awesome place for antique stores for quite a while in the 1990s into the early 2000s, and then the cycle sort of just changed up, and we I think they only have like 1 or 2 antique stores now. This is what happens. Yeah, see corn out here. Trying to convince my bike to slow down because I got a tailwind. You see the school, it's like an old, really old style school with the bell and the cupola up on top. A little bit more than one-room schoolhouse, but still a schoolhouse. So, you know, St. George has a lot of old houses, but it also has a lot of newer subdivisions because people are starting to build out this way simply because it's too expensive to live in the outlying cities. Like Cambridge is growing like a weed, and Brantford's starting to get that way too. And it all has to do with the price of houses. The people in Toronto are moving out east and west and north and buying houses, so the prices are going up. So the people who used to live in these areas can't afford to live there, so they start moving further out because that's where they can afford the houses. This is where all the antique stores used to be, but now there's pretty much nothing left. And like Highway 5 just, you know, it just literally cuts right through the town. It's like pretty much like anywhere else. Like when you have a major thoroughfare coming through, you know, towns and villages and gas stops and whatnot sort of spring up to fill the demand for people. An old style church from 1911. Just out of the way of exiting St. George. Now the nice thing is Highway 5 in this area is not too built up yet, but once you get close to Oakville and Burlington and whatnot, it's starting to get pretty crazy. So we got lots of crops, lots of greenery, lots of bugs. I feel like I got freckles on my visor and I've only been out for about an hour or so. Right now it's a nice, smooth, pleasant road. That's about to change. Jeez. As soon as I cross over into Hamilton, I get like 3 bumps like that. Like it's like, welcome to Hamilton. Jeez. It sort of reminded me, I was driving through Utah one time coming back home, and the highway in Utah was just absolutely magnificent, you know, just great. And across the border into Colorado, and it's like, you know, Colorado, where all the rich celebrities and whatnot go to go skiing and stuff like that. They must have great roads. Oh God, no. They were actually even worse than these roads here. I just couldn't believe how bad they were. Like, the only place I can think of that had roads as bad as that would have been Chicago. And of course, the speed limit went from like 80 miles an hour or 75 miles an hour to like 50 or something like that. And they had 4 state troopers in Colorado just waiting for speeders to come over the hill and catch them. And my GPS warned me about the speed reduction ahead, so I actually had slowed down, so I didn't get caught. But I thought, boy, you really want to encourage people to travel to your state by just sitting there waiting to sting them. So now we're going into Shoie, Ontario, which is a small little hamlet, and this is mostly known, at least to us, for Don Zimmer pottery, where my wife gets a lot of pottery from. You know, like for a while he made these wine goblets that she just absolutely loves, but he hasn't made them for a few years, so we keep looking. You can see, like, this is a Wednesday, and that's how busy it is. So, you know, it must be pretty popular. He's got a little cafe there with as my wife puts it, food I won't eat, because I am more of a Wendy's or McDonald's or like just a regular normal restaurant thing. I don't like my salads to be made of dandelion grass clippings. To me, that's not a salad, that's compost. But now we're picking up the speed again, and you can see we're back out in farmland. Pizza there, that was a possum. No idea what they're growing, it's something small. I can only recognize corn and pumpkins. Everything else, it's like, no idea. Cattle out there. I think those are actually beef cattle. And if you go down that road there, that takes you to Linden, Ontario. It's sort of like the farming hub of this area of Flamborough. Oh, some donkeys sitting there in the shade. Farmhouse here with a, looks like a tin or a zinc roof on it. actually yeah, it is the foundry, the McCoy foundry. So they do cast iron and stuff like that. It's kind of weird being out here, but the business was created by the father or grandfather and made it successful. Now this road here, this Woodhill, I've been down this before many times, because when I was racing, one of the guys I used to race with, he had rented a garage down there, and he was using that as a race shop. So there was many a time I used to drive way out here, because I used to live not in Dundas, but way out in Stony Creek, which is, you know, quite a distance away, to help him get his superbike working for the races that weekend. It was a pretty cool shop too. And because it was out in the country, it was like really cheap to rent.